Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. I'm Brian from Team 1EV. Today we're going to introduce our vinyl spoke kit. This is available for Rivian 20-inch 5-spoke wheels. This will let you change the color of these diamond machine spokes on the factory wheels. Today we're going to do a gloss black kit, but we actually offer this in a few different colors so you can pick and have it the way you want it. We're going to go through the install today. It's not a difficult install. You don't need any special tools. Just need to follow our process. Cleanliness is most important, so we're going to wash the wheel really good. Then we're going to use a wax and grease remover, which is available from EV Sportline optionally. Let everything dry and then carefully put the spokes on. With our kit, you're going to get enough spokes to do all 4 wheels, plus a lot of extras in case one gets messed up or you have any trouble. You're all set to go. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is wash the wheels and then apply the wax and grease remover. The most important part of this installation for success is going to be cleanliness of the wheel. So you really want to take your time, wash the wheels completely with soap and water, your regular car wash, get all the brake dust and dirt off, and then let the water completely dry. I would let it dry overnight so there's no water dripping out when you're putting this on. Then once the wheels are dry, we're going to take a wax and grease remover to take any residual wax or grease or polish or ceramic, anything on there. We really don't want any of that on these spokes. So this little wax and grease towelette can be used. I would go around and do every spoke on the silver part. You're going to see some of this dirt come off. So one towelette is plenty to do the entire truck. These come fairly well soaked. I like to go around and do the spoke first and then flip to the back side. Just make sure I've got it clean. Take a look on the back and it should be showing up clean on the second try. The wax and grease remover is going to leave a little bit of a residue. It's going to be moist. We're going to let that dry and then come in with a microfiber towel and do a wipe off on it. I'm actually going to go around and do all the spokes around where we're going to be working, just so that the vinyl doesn't bump into any of this and pick up any dirt or other road grime. So again, the more prep, the better. Just keep all this clean so that the vinyl attaches to a clean surface. So we're going to go ahead and clean up all 4 wheels now before we get started, and then we'll get to the vinyl. Okay, the wheel has been washed, the wheel has been degreased and cleaned up with the wax and grease remover. We've let it dry for an hour, so it's really dry now. We'll give it one final wipe on the spoke before we put our vinyl on, make sure no dust is on there. Now, I'm left-handed, so I'm going to work on these top 3 at one time, and then we'll roll the car back and we can do the bottom 2. So we'll start with this top one here. Once it's wiped off, these are the vinyl pieces. You're going to pull one off. Okay, make sure it doesn't stick to itself. I like to start in the corner up here. You can line this up with the corner and just tap down to get it started. Okay, so we've lined up this top edge, we've lined up the side edge, we make sure we're covering in here. Then I'm going to take this piece, and vinyl stretches pretty easily, so you want to be careful, don't pull this real tight, but just keep it lined up with your bottom finger, tap it in a couple of places. If it's not lined up, you can pull it back off and line it up. So that it's really that easy. It's covering the spoke on both sides. So you can't see any of the silver here. Once I like where it's placed, I can push it down. I'm going to grab this side, start working our way along the top. And the same thing, just make sure it's centered up on the spoke. You can't see any silver on either side. Don't pull on it too much or you'll stretch it. So here you can see a little silver. I'll just pull it back and move it down a little bit. Perfect. Same thing going down this spoke. Line it up on the end. tap in place. Okay, so it's in place. I'm going to take a step back, make sure I've covered the spoke everywhere. Maybe make a little adjustment down here. Okay, now I'm happy with it. I'm going to push in the center of this carefully, make sure no wrinkles, make sure it's seated down. Okay, everything looks good. Now I'm going to go along the edges, my finger, and push it into place. Going down the sides. Okay, pretty much pushed in place. I'm going to take my microfiber towel and just kind of rub it in. Watch, don't pull the edges up with this, but this is a good way to make sure it's really pushed onto the spoke everywhere. Basically run it around the whole edge, and that's it, it's done. Now I'm going to just pick away a little bit at the corner, and you're going to notice this, it's like a saran wrap coating on top of the spoke. That's to protect it from scratches when you're putting it on. Once you pick a little of that up with your fingernail, pull it off. There you go. First spoke is done. All the spokes are the same. Again, I'm going to start in the corner. That's really the hardest part, is just lining up the first corner. Work our way down the spoke. Along the outside. Okay, take a step back, make sure it's covering the spoke. You like the alignment. Go back and push it in, push it smooth, make sure there's no wrinkles. Go down each edge with my finger, make sure it's totally flat. All the edges are seated. Take my microfiber, push it on. Just making sure there's no air bubbles or gaps. Be careful not to pull the edges off. You're sliding across the edges. That's it. Again, I'm going to pick in a corner, get the protective layer. Got that one off a little easier. And there you have it. So I'm going to move up here to this third spoke, and then we're going to back up the truck and do the bottom.
That is going to do it for us today on our install of the wheel blackout kit for Rivian R1T and R1S. Just make sure to repeat this process on the other 3 wheels. If you have any questions about what we did today, make sure to leave a comment down below. If you want to check this out for yourself, you can do that at team1ev.com. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.